guys, today we're going to decorate a house called Corkberry Steading that I have just built for my ex-tavern owner Richard Stewart, his wife Emmy and their daughter Matilda. He has just sort of amassed some wealth, so he is going to be moving into sort of the lower middle class. The house is quite large, so it's really more of like an upper middle class house, but he's the only student that I want to move into it at the moment. So what we're going to do is decorate the house, and I'm going to show you a couple of my sort of tips and tricks of how I sort of decorate. So like I said, I've actually already built the house. So what we're going to do is just sort of like, add some doors, add some windows and do all the exterior parts. Then I'm going to decorate the insides and then do the landscaping as well. I did end up actually changing the landscaping after I moved the Sims in, only because I did a really sparse landscape to start off with and I wasn't really happy with it. So when they moved in there, I added like a few more like bits and pieces. So here you'll see me trying to decide which windows. I have so many windows in my game and it can be really hard for me to pick some. I do quite like these windows though. They have a lot of matching doors as well, so I like everything to sort of match a little bit. I'll be like really picky with the colours, so I'll go back and change it a couple times. I'm pretty sure I changed the windows and doors a few times at least each. So the people who are going to live here, like I said, they were tavern owners. They owned the Marigold Tavern and they've just sort of like gotten really rich really fast. It's really good owning a tavern, apparently. It's good money. And so what we're going to do is move them in here. So next rotation they'll be living here. I'm going to move them out in summer because when you move into the house it's going to be summer. And then yeah, so they've just given birth to a daughter in my game, Matilda. So if you follow my blog, you may have already seen them on Tumblr. So I like to sort of map out which rooms go where first. I'll add a couple of windows to add some light so I can see what I'm doing. And then, yeah, I'll sort of map out what rooms I think I'm going to need and where they're going to be. So some of these rooms are quite small and not really usable. Like, as is. I think I changed the floor plan a little bit later as well. But like I like to keep my bathrooms like fairly small. They're usually like 3x2 tiles or 2x2 tiles. They're not very interesting, to be honest. But yeah, so I map out what I'm doing. Then I can place windows because I like to place the windows like not symmetrically, but like so they make sense with each other really. And then yeah, I'll go in with floors. So I've got my floors and my ceilings. I do usually use the same floors in most houses for all the rooms, but for the kitchen I usually use like a stone or something similar. So these walls have two parts to them, so there's a part 1A and a part 1B. I feel like because it's a bigger like texture, it gives it a more realistic look. So they're kind of a pain in the butt because you've got to like do each part separate and then you got to do like the whole, like I'm doing the exterior now, so like the whole exterior like one by one by one by one. But they're pretty, so I really love these Seasons doors. I'm so obsessed with all the Seasons country stuff. The furniture, the doors, the windows, all of it. Love it. Great set. It's got beautiful rear colours. I also like to have like my houses like usually have a theme with like the wallpaper. So these ones are all going to be this like old cream like paneling, which I really enjoy. Shasta Kiss actually made me a bunch of like matching wallpapers for Christmas and July gift, I think it was like years ago, and I just used the hell out of them. But like in my other houses, like especially the upper class houses, you'll see I use a lot of the JSF gold railings. The middle class get like the white railings, and then like except for libraries get dark paneling always. I don't know why I do that, but I do. So I do like, because I like to plan out what each room is first. So I'll go and I'll like say, okay, well this is going to be a bedroom, this is going to be a parlor, this is going to be a bathroom, and I'll choose all of the wallpaper accordingly. So what I'm seeing, you've seen this a couple of times probably. So I've got these invisible windows. So I like to not have so many visible windows. Only because like you don't have, sometimes 4 windows in a room. But the lighting what I use can make rooms quite dark. So I like to sort of have the invisible windows because then it lets some more light in, but you don't have like a window on each wall, which in general, like most houses won't, unless you're like a super ultra modern house which has like only glass walls. But yeah, so that's the invisible windows that you're seeing, so it sort of lights it up. So what I like to do is when I'm placing lights, if you put the house into like night mode, there's a little toggle there next to the the design tool. If you click that toggle, it makes it dark. So when you place lights, they'll already be lit. So then you can see how they will actually look when it's dark. Because I have a tendency to make rooms too dark or too bright. So I like to do this so that I can see how bright the room's actually going to be and not place like, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of lamps. Or alternatively, only place one lamp and then have like really, really dark rooms where I can't see what's going on. I just think it's really handy. So kitchens are like my favorite rooms to decorate. So this is me being really picky about the fireplace slash oven that I'm going to use. So usually I like to use ones that don't have a fire already in them, simply because I do have the functional fires mod. So don't really like to use ones that already have a fire in them because I don't think they're compatible. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm doing that wrong. But basically, I want to always be able to use the functional fires mod with them. So this one is just really pretty, so I decided to use it instead. I may change it later. I don't know. So as you can probably tell, I really like pirate wood. So all the stuff I make pretty much now comes in pirate woods. So I used to use Miss Barrow's heavy woods a lot. I just really like the way the pirate woods look. So most of this is either recolored by me or found. So those counters are definitely in pirate woods, and the cottage set is in pirate woods, which is one I've done myself but haven't released yet. I just like things to match. I'm very matchy. Like even the floors I think are the same colour. I think they're driftwood. The driftwood or rowboat. So kitchens are like my favourite room to decorate. I have so many like kitchen items. It's not funny. It's like a nifty little is it a tea chest or spice chest? I think it's a spice chest. Okay, so what you're seeing here is all my subfolders. So like I have collection folders for everything. So there's like collection folders for food, collection folders for drinks. There's like collection folders for magic, clutter, all different stuff. Because I was finding like, because I have so much custom content. I think last check I had like 18 gigabytes of custom content. It's ridiculous. And I couldn't ever find anything. So what I do when I get new, like bits and pieces like clutter or custom content or whatever, I will add them to the subfolder that they are like closest to. And then when I'm looking for like food deco, it's all there. It's easy. It's great. It took me ages. It took me so long, but it's definitely worth it. This is me second guessing the heights because I didn't want them to look like they were floating. And then you've got these, okay, so the 45-degree angle cheat is awesome, but things can look like pretty, just one angle. It's just kind of boring. So there's these really awesome OMSPs that are like, I think they're 15 degrees. And so they're just slightly rotated. So I'll use them a few times throughout the house just to like give everything a little bit more of a realistic look. And sometimes like chairs and stuff will cut through the wall if you put it on a 45-degree angle, which I don't really like. So I'll put them on a 15-degree angle, make it look a little bit more realistic in my game. Also really love this pen, Clutter. I use them a lot. I think I use them in like almost all my kitchens. It's kind of ridiculous, but I do love them because they've got like the plants hanging down, and yeah, it's pretty good. So I'm trying to choose a stove here, but none of them really fit with this fireplace, unfortunately, because it's very shallow, because it's obviously not meant for cooking food in. But I mean, it's really cute. So what I'll do is I'll try a few and get it where I need it, and because you place the stove after the fireplace, it should still be functional. I'm pretty sure it is. I think I've tried it. I think I also changed the actual stove that I use. I tend to use the food replicators. I can't believe if they're, I can't remember rather if they're from Sunny or Frack, or maybe Sun and Moon. I'm not sure, but they're really cool. So I like to use those to simulate having a cook, because I don't like, there are options to have a cook servant in game, fully like NPC as well. But I don't really like any of them. I've tried a few of them, and yeah, it's kind of on the fence about it. The one that I like most is one, there's a mod, there's a patch for the uni stove you can use on any lot, and that's really cool. But I don't like it generating an NPC, and he leaves after a certain time, so I think it's like 11 o'clock or 1 o'clock he leaves, and then your sims have to cook themselves anyway. So the food replicators, they, like when your sim gets hungry enough, they can just go to them and like create a group meal or create a single meal or something like that. And it's, yeah, to me it's sort of like replicating having a cook without actually having a cook. So this won't be authentic. Like, they wouldn't keep their like good plates and servingware in the kitchen like this. It would be away, locked away. So, but I just wanted to clutter this up. And this plate's really pretty. They actually match my defaults that I've made, and I really, really like them. I also realised later that those milk cans are in the wall, and I did fix it at a later date. Yeah, I don't know why you keep just a single dustbin there. It took me so long to figure out how to get this iron to sit properly. Whoopsie. I really wanted to use that dolly stick. I wanted to put it somewhere, but it didn't really go anywhere. So instead, I just look at it. It might be good when Fireflower releases her laundry mod. It's like good clutter. Yeah, I typed the cheat in wrong the first time round, and now every time I have to like exit out of the cheat, it doesn't do it automatically, and I forget how to fix it, and it's kind of annoying. Those milk cans are so frustrating. Can't believe I didn't notice when I was first doing it. I don't know. I really like to have like food clutter around. Again, I don't really know if it's historically accurate or not, but I just kind of like it. Really wanted that meat grinder, but I couldn't figure it out. I love those toddler meals by Frack. I love those toddler meals. I love like having the toddler sit in the high chair rather than having a bottle, and to actually be able to like prepare them is like super awesome. I also really wanted to use those flowers, but there was no place for them, unfortunately. I don't think I've ever used the canning mod. Like, I've never actually used it. I just love the look of the canning pot. Also haven't used the quality set yet, which is kind of upsetting because it's amazing. And I haven't got someone who's growing tea yet. Well, my apothecary is growing tea, but he only planted it last rotation, so it hasn't actually sort of like grown yet. It's not ready for harvesting, rather. So there goes the invisible window. I decided to put another window there because I thought it looked a little bit weird having a blank wall there where that's going to be where the dining table is. So I sort of change things as I go because I'm really indecisive. So the chairs are clipping into the curtains. When I go into live mode later, once I move my Sims in, obviously they push in, so they won't be clipping into the curtains anymore. That's me changing where all the windows are, because I decided that that's where I'm going to put my fireplace. So I needed like, yeah, a bit more space for it. That's one other thing I do all the time. I always add like firewood or coal like near the fires. Again, not sure if it's historically accurate, but I like to do it because I think it adds just that little bit of realism. There's more country seasons country stuff. I decided that I didn't really like it. And that buffet I placed is a quaint buffet. It's so pretty. It's just humongous. There's going to be more space. I wanted something, just like a little something. I think the china cabinet's good because then I don't have to clutter it up myself. And it's all just like plain white, so it just goes. Also notice I actually recolored these chairs like a month ago maybe, and I didn't fix the alpha on them. I didn't notice that until I watched this. So I'll fix those at some point. And there's those 15-degree OMSPs again. They just make it like it's just slightly off. It's not super straight, but it's not like totally on an angle. It's just like slightly. I do quite like that. So I'm going to have a functional tea set in this house, as I do in most of my houses, so that they can play, so that they can have like tea when people come over, but it's not going to be in this room. So it's probably going to be in the parlor, I think, just because it makes more sense for me, because they wouldn't really have like huge dinner parties. This is not like a massive dining area. So they're not going to have like people over. But they will have, you know, people in the parlor like to come visit. So I just love adding plants. If you've seen any of my other builds, you've probably seen it. Like I usually have plants everywhere. It's normally like the same plants though. I've downloaded a whole bunch of, I think it's 42 conversions, and like resized bouquets and things like that. And I do quite like them now. See, this is one of the plants I use all the time. That one's from, I think it's Kashkar's Vanity Fair, and I use it all the time. Also decided that they should have some alcohol in here. So I don't know what that is, if it's port. I think port was like the more popular of the time. So it's probably port. Or sherry, maybe. I don't know. I don't drink, so. So here's me deciding what I should have on the mantelpiece. This is a beautiful object that I haven't actually used. It's by Maya 40, who I do a lot of collaborations with, and it is gorgeous. My only problem with it is not recolorable, so I might have to speak to her and maybe fix that for her, because I really want to make some recolors of it, because it's, yeah, quite pretty. I usually put a mirror over my fireplace. I don't know why. I feel like I've seen it in a lot of historical like movies that I watch. I just decided that that's a thing. Like I'm just going to do that all the time now. So I use these curtains a lot in sort of my like middle class builds. They're just really plain and just really nice and not too fancy. I also try to keep like the sinks and stuff the same, and like the chamber pots and all that really similar throughout the house. Don't know why. Just do. Just do. So I'm just going to clutter out this bathroom a little bit. This is like sort of the downstairs guest bathrooms. I don't know why I'm doing that. I just like it to look like, bathrooms are boring in my game. They're really like just super functional and don't do much else. But I do like to clutter them up just a little bit to make them just a little bit more interesting. So this hallway is just sort of a nothing room. It's just because I had made a really bad floor plan, and yeah, I just made a really bad floor plan. So there's this like nothing room in the middle, but it means that we can put a few objects in here and clutter it up, and it'll be really pretty. Here I am going through my collection folders again, looking for something to place here. And I find like this season's buffet is like it's beautiful, but it only has 2 slots. So I need more clutter in my life than that. And so here's us putting some OMSPs. So this build is OMSP crazy. Like most of mine are, just because I do like to clutter up a lot of surfaces. And yeah, again, that's me keeping consistency like with the objects. Like if I've used one chair there, unless it's like a lower class, like a really lower class build where they would just take like whatever they could to use, I do like to keep it sort of like continuity throughout the house, I guess. Go to find that perfect rug. So the first thing I like to do when I build a parlor is choose fireplace. So then I have like one wall that's like basically dedicated to the fireplace. I just like to place that down first so I know where I'm going to place all the furniture. I love this couch. I used to overuse it like all the time. It was one of the couches I just used constantly. And I stopped using it for ages because like I can't put it in every house. And then I realized I haven't used it. See, there's the alpha problem. Can't believe I did that with those chairs. Yeah, and then I realized I wasn't using it all the time. So it's like, oh, I'll just keep using it again. I think I changed the placement of this lounge and these chairs like about 20 times in the end. Like when I don't know if I did it when I was decorating, if I did it when I was like playing a lot. But yeah, I put them in like so many different positions. And then I changed the shelf as well. I think I changed the shelf soon because I think like that's too big, you know. So sort of like to go down and change angles every so often to see, you know, if it's working, like if the floor of the room's working. Yeah, here I am changing the chair positions 20,000 times. So I decided on these bookshelves, which are like built in. They're by Feenwald. They are functional. I just thought they don't take up too much room, so they're not going to like look too bulky in the room. So all my Jonesy bed blanket stuff is showing up blue, and like I definitely have the master file in my game. I'm not sure why it's doing that, but literally everything that uses that like texture is flashing blue for some reason. It's really bizarre. I have so many recolors of the bed blanket. So many. And so like sometimes choosing things, I tend to go for like the same ones too. So I like to like in this house I decided to go, you know, try and find something that I don't use all the time. But those curtains are so cute. Just really simple, really elegant. So I love this one tile piano. I wish it was more one tile pianos because for a family like this, they don't have, you know, a huge amount of money. So while they would have an instrument, it's not, you know, going to be a super fancy instrument. And their parlor is not huge. So they really need, you know, something kind of tiny and small. Same with the easel. I don't want the easel to be like too big and take up too much room. So I ended up getting one of those mini easels. I have no idea where I got them. No idea. But they're so cute. You can change like they do like oval and landscape. I've got them in a bunch of my houses. There's actually one in Richard's brother Angus's house. He was the original owner of the tavern. He amassed a bunch of wealth as well, so he moved his family to the Marigold Lodge. He still owns the tavern, and his brother just pays him, I think it's each rotation, he pays him a percentage of the profits. And then I decided that he would move out, and then Richard made heaps of money, so now he gets to move out too, and he gets this beautiful house. Here's me trying to add more plants. But it's got to be like, the perfect specific plant. Can't just be anything. It's got to be like the plant. So I'm using the scroll in a box telephone, which kind of new to me. I've always had it in game and never really used it. I've always kind of been like, no, they can just use phones. But I've sort of decided that perhaps not. They need to, like, in the Victorian era, that you can sort of get away with that because, they kind of look, but they're not Regency at all. Zero. And while I don't go for 100%, historical accuracy because it's not my bag, I do like to keep things sort of like, see, there's a blue thing again. I do like to keep things like semi-close to the era. So I decided to use like the scroll in a box telephone. I think I've got an invisible telephone as well. It's just so hard to play a historical game because the Sims have to use a telephone for certain things. Like they just have to. So, this is where I realized I hadn't put stairs in yet. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna need stairs. I can't not have stairs. So these spiral stairs I absolutely love because they don't take up too much room. They're pretty historically accurate. Like you would have really sort of like small stairways, honestly. If you look at like the old houses, they have like the steep winding staircases that are like really tiny. So yeah, I stepped up and had to place the stairs and then had to rethink how I was going to do the whole room, which was fun. But this is just the entranceway, so it doesn't have to be, super fancy or anything. So you usually put like at least a wardrobe in the entranceway because if you go like you would hang your coats there and your guests would hang their coats. Again, I don't know if it's accurate, but it's fine. I decided I wanted a chest table here, so I had to remove the double arch and put a single arch in, but that's okay because it matches the season's doors I used. Yeah, and that room is 3 tiles wide, so now instead of having 2 tiles taken up with an archway, it's got one in the middle, which I kind of prefer. So everything worked out in the end with that. Save, save, save. Don't forget to save your game. Here I was looking for like a nice big plant, and then I think I found this plant. It's definitely a 4:2 or 3:2 conversion. It is super cute. It's in a milk can. And I'm just like, yeah, sure, why not? Why wouldn't they use a milk can for their flowers? Who knows? Maybe they did. I don't know. I don't know why the chess table of all things has a slot to put stuff in. Like, what are you putting on a chess table? So I sort of like tried those Miss Barrows frames and I wasn't super happy with them. So what I did instead is these little cross stitches, which I'm pretty sure I use in a lot of houses. I need more colours of them. This is when I realised as well that all my paintings were in groups of 2, pretty much. And I was like, why am I doing this? So I went back and changed one in the parlour. So this room we're doing now is the master bedroom. So here I am playing with fireplaces. I absolutely love this fireplace by Adele. It is just really cute. Has a lot of really nice true colours and it just suits like a lot of different classes. So it can be very upper class if you use some of the nicer like middles, or it can be like quite lower class if you use some of the grungier ones. So this is why I do this with the lights because you can see it gets a little bit dark. So it's a little bit darker than I like really wanted for like picture taking purposes. So these 2 rooms are both spare rooms at the moment, the green and the pink room. So they're going to be decorated like exactly the same, just in different colours. And then this one on the end with the vines is going to be the nursery. And then the other rooms obviously are the bathrooms. Like I said, they're functional. They're not pretty, but they're functional. I was thinking about possibly, oh yeah, here, I realised I stuffed up because the stairs left a gaping hole in the bathroom. So I was going to put chamber pots in the room, which would be historically accurate, but I decided not to, only because there wasn't a lot of room in those rooms. They're not huge bedrooms. So the master room probably could have had one, but the rest, definitely not. So these don't exactly match the stairs exactly, but they're as close as I could get. I just wanted nice stair railings. So these are Sunny's in curtains. They're slave to the Maxis bedding, and they have quite a few metal recolors. They're quite pretty. I think they're based off one of Cassandra's living curtains. I just like how full they are, and they can be like really fancy, really not fancy. I have so many beddings that I just don't use. I really need to like clean them out. But not today. Not today, Satan. So find even when you put like beds off the grid, they're still usable. I have a mod for that. So anytime that they're not perfectly usable, the sim will get in them. The animations will be really weird, but they will still use the bed. So they can still get to it. Oh, I'm so sick of this flashing blue stuff. Like honestly. Come on. I have a lot of quilts. I use them all the time. Quilts aren't Regency era accurate, but they look really nice, so I use them quite often. So this is Miss Barrow's Heavywood set that I was talking about earlier. It's really pretty. It has a lot of items in the set. It's vaguely vintagey looking, so I kind of just go with it. The mirror is definitely questionable, but we're just going to roll with it, to be honest. More plants. Plants everywhere. I can't grow plants at home. I don't have that skill. I kill plants, so I just live vicariously through my Sims. So green was a really popular colour for bedrooms in the Regency era. So most bedrooms would be, green. So I've gone with that for the master just so that they can sort of stay on fashion a little bit. Like they wouldn't be like super like got to keep up with the Joneses, but they would definitely, try a little bit. So nightstands actually weren't a thing. Usually if you like wanted to have something next to your bed, you would have like, you would pull up a chair and like put a candle or something on it, generally. But we don't go by what's era accurate, we just do what we feel like. We just go with the flow. We just make things pretty, how we know best. So I decided instead of blankets, we're going to have a magazine pot. So there's coal and some wood. Again, I don't know if they would have that there, but they do. It's my Sims, and my Sims do. So here's me doing both of these bedrooms. So I'm going to use the country furniture because why not? And yeah, so we got one pink room and one green room. When I'm doing beds, I have a lot of bedding options, but I really like these animated Jonesy blankets, just because they give a bit of realism, and I think they look really pretty. And so I'm going to keep using the absolute heck out of them. This whole room is going to be basically like country furniture. That's it. So like I said, these two rooms are, they're going to be exactly the same, just mirrored. Once their child grows up, so once Matilda grows up, she'll have one of these rooms and it'll be like more decorated. Until then though, we're just going to leave them as sort of like shell rooms. Like I want to have furniture in them, but I don't want to go through the whole pain of decorating them if I'm going to change it when she grows up, depending on her like true hobby and her personality. So here we are using these curtains again. They're just pretty. I just like them. So I decided to have like just plain curtains in each room. So I get a plain like pink and a plain green curtain. So the nursery we'll probably do a little bit more with, just because like I said they already have a baby. I think she's a baby. Maybe she's a toddler. I can't remember. Maybe she's soon to be a toddler. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, when she moves into one of those rooms, we'll make it like a little bit more decorated. And then obviously, as I have more children, it'll change. Does anyone know why that flashing blue is happening? Like, obviously, I have, the master object in game, and it's just flashing blue. I tried resetting thumbnails and everything, didn't seem to make a difference. So here, I think this is like the final room we've got to decorate. I think this is the last one because we've done the bathrooms. Like I said, the bathrooms are boring. Oh no, I think I do. There's like a little bit in the upstairs area. I love nurseries. They're probably my second favorite to decorate. I think by the time I got to this nursery though, I was like so over it. I think I did very little with this nursery, honestly. I think I need more crib options. Like I know it looks like I have a lot, but I'm just like, but why not more? More Seasons Country options. These are add-ons. I'm not sure who they're by. I think Sims Attic 99 did a bunch of add-ons for it. So they're probably like some of them are from there. And Covidophile did a bunch too. It's like the most boring nursery I've probably ever done. I did definitely change it when I got into game. I sort of was like, perhaps not. And changed a bunch about it. So just adding curtains. This upstairs area near the stairs is like the last thing I ended up decorating. So I made it like a study area. Because I guess the plan is when Matilda gets older, she'll be educated at home. And so this will be like her little area. I love those little quilling ink. It's so cute. I love that bookshelf. It's like fully decorated already, so I don't even have to clutter anything. Sometimes I like that and sometimes I hate it. Depends on what it is. Because sometimes it's like got stuff in it that's not appropriate for the era. But this one's pretty good. Like she's got a nice face and a photo. Okay, so for some reason I added the functional D set upstairs. But that works, I guess. Oops, I forgot a wall as well. I have a lot of random free colours for that painting that I probably won't ever use. Like, never ever. So this is for the fetch water mod. So you can add water to those pictures so anyone upstairs can go and get water from it rather than going outside to the well, which I will place. So yeah, I changed the backyard quite a bit when I got in game. I added like a few more trees, a bunch of fruit trees, a bunch of fruit and vegetable plants. So it looks, completely different now. But there will be pictures of that coming up on my Tumblr. It's in queue. So I'm not sure when they'll be. They might be a while away. But for now, it's quite cute. I still like it. It's just very plain for like my style of landscaping for what I usually do. I do love these berry bushes. This is one of my favorite things. So that's why I put the canning pot there because I'm pretty sure you can make jam or you can use them to make like different kinds of honey and stuff as well. So I wanted to give them a chimney, something that like, because these ones actually create smoke. They look really cool. So I wanted to add a chimney. They're not placed like anywhere near the fires. They're just kind of there to be there, honestly. Did I make them taller? I feel like I made them taller. I think so. A very short chimney. I think I ended up using the ones by Sunny. I'm not sure if they create smoke. I think they might. Here I am just like looking for them. I have so much custom content in this game. It's not funny. Yeah, I definitely made them taller. These ones aren't like, you can't choose like different chimney toppers and stuff, so they're not like as versatile, but they're still really pretty. I think they make smoke too. I think so. And now we get to go crazy with ivy. So I have so many different kinds of ivy in my game. And I'll mix it all, like, I don't care. I'll be like, okay, ivy from this set, and ivy from this set, and then ivy from this set. And it's fine. I don't care. It looks good. So these ones don't actually match up with, like, the side of the wall. And I didn't realize that when I was placing them. I was, like, so frustrated. So I was like, no. So I ended up using, I like these ones from Caterpillar because they're very 3D. And they've got a really pretty texture on them too, so they're like super bushy. But I also really like just the ivy leaves that I have as well. So I use, a bit of those. And they've got like vines and stuff, so it looks all pretty. And I didn't realise until later when I was taking photos that some of them have a gap. So especially the ones where I do like a 2-story, they have a definite gap. And these are so pretty. I think these were, I can't remember who originally converted them, but I've got a set that's slaved by, I think it's Myself Cats, and oh, they're so pretty. Just big bushy, like, are they roses? I think they're roses. So only sort of usually ivy up the front. See, like, oh, there's a slight gap. I don't know why. I think at the end of the day, I did a little bit of like ivy at the back, but like normally I just do ivy at the front, which is not how ivy works. But we did it anyway. Now I couldn't find the corner ivy. So I was like, oh, damn it, I moved it. I used it before, so it's fine. So if you see those ones that are 2-story, like the bottoms of the second level and the tops of like the first level, there's like a slight gap there. So I may go back and fix that. I don't know. I feel kind of lazy about it. And like it still looks fine. Nobody will notice. So this is part of the fetch water mod, so that's the water pump where they can get the water from, and then they can store it in that jug upstairs. And they need that for like baths and like washing their hands and all that sort of stuff. And these are trees from the Giving Tree mod, so they're harvestables. So you can harvest bird's nests, gather nuts, tree sap. You can cut them down for firewood, and sometimes you get saplings from them as well to like grow other trees. So they're needed for the functional fires mod, so that you can, get the firewood for the fire. So just downloaded these flowers, and they're really pretty. It's the 4:2 ground cover set. I'm not sure who made it. I'll have to double check, but they are so, so pretty. And all their granite fall stuff is by Mold as well. So they're also, I think they're 3:2, and they're really pretty too. So just kind of scattering stuff at the moment. It's a bit basic, but it works. It works. Most of my houses have a ladder up against them. I don't know why. I'm just always like, yes, that looks realistic. That's how you do it, right? Yes. I literally just got finished saying I only ever do ivy on the front, and this is like one of the only houses I've ever done the ivy on the back. So those function, I think, is like a compost pile or like a rubbish bin. Not that my Sims will ever use it because their rubbish bin is like right next to the door anyway. I also didn't do any like terrain paints on this lot. So yeah, so the garden was really super basic, but I still like it. And that's the decorating. So it will change like as the family evolves, but for now I quite like it. Thanks for watching.